Karoline Leavitt is back, and she's not holding back. From dismantling a smug French politician who quickly remembered why he doesn't dabble in German debates, to leaving Jeff Bezos visibly rattled, every moment is pure gold. This isn't just commentary. It's a masterclass in confidence. And trust us, you won't want to miss a second. Buckle up, because what you're about to witness is nothing short of legendary. There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who believes the US no longer represents the values symbolized by the Statue of Liberty. They want it returned. So, is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France? Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be this. Remember that it's only thanks to the United States of America that the French aren't speaking German right now. They should be very grateful to our great country. This is both hilarious and painfully ironic. A French politician demanding the return of the Statue of Liberty while conveniently ignoring one small fact: it was a gift from the French people. And his party? They represent just 14% of them, according to the latest EU Parliament election. Technically, he's not even speaking for the majority that gave the gift in the first place. But here's the kicker. It's a left-wing politician, making this demand, as if that side of the aisle still holds the global torch for freedom. You really can't make this stuff up. Former President Biden is set to deliver his first major speech since leaving office tonight. I wanted to get the president's response, or whether he plans to respond, to this and to what Democrats are calling cuts to Social Security. My first reaction upon seeing that former President Biden was speaking tonight? I'm shocked he's even awake. I thought his bedtime came much earlier than tonight's speech. I understand the topic of his speech will be Social Security. Let me be absolutely clear. Ahead of former President Biden's remarks, this president, President Trump, is fully committed to protecting Social Security benefits for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and the seniors who've paid into the program. Honestly, I still can't wrap my head around why Biden thought giving that speech was a good idea. Public speaking hasn't exactly been his strong suit during his presidency, and this latest attempt only confirmed that. From the moment he stepped up to the podium, it was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Mumbling half-sentences, veering off topic, and leaving the audience scratching their heads, wondering what point, if any, he was trying to make. It wasn't just awkward. It was uncomfortable. And just when you thought political theater couldn't get more surreal, enter Karoline Leavitt. While Biden was fumbling through prepared remarks, Karoline was out there delivering knockout blows, in real time. Her takedown of Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz after their latest eyebrow-raising comments? Absolutely brutal. And absolutely brilliant. She didn't just call them out. She dismantled their talking points with clarity, confidence, and a composure that made the contrast with Biden's meandering speech even more glaring. It's moments like these that remind you why Karoline continues to be a rising force, while the others keep scrambling to keep up. Tim Walz, Governor Walz, claimed last night that he checks Tesla's stock frequently to, quote, "give me a little boost during the day." So how should Americans view politicians who take pride in the downfall of an American car company? Honestly, it's quite sad. But Governor Walz, unfortunately, is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat on November 5th, exactly. When your political opponents are people like Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, the smartest strategy isn't to argue. It's to just hand them a microphone and walk away. No rebuttal needed, because every time they speak, they do what entire campaigns struggle to do. They expose their own incompetence in real time. Whether it's Kamala's infamous word salads, or Tim Walz's head-scratching takes that sound like they're from an alternate dimension, you don't need spin or strategy. You just need patience. Let them talk. Let them ramble. Let the public see for themselves how these people ended up with so much power and so little clarity. It's like watching a slow-motion implosion. And the best part? You don't have to lift a finger. Just sit back and let the mic do the work. Well, I think it was a great reminder to the American people of just how blessed we are that the leader sitting in the Oval Office today is President Donald Trump, and not President Kamala Harris. And to add on the Kamala point, I think I speak for everyone at the White House when I say, we encourage Kamala Harris to keep going out and speaking, please. Book more speaking engagements. Oh, and by the way, a quick reminder. I noticed you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet. So what are you waiting for? Hit those buttons. It helps more than you know. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's talk about Tim Walz. Remember when the media was fawning over him during his latest town hall tour? They hyped him up like he was the next big thing, a fresh Democratic voice with mainstream appeal. But flash forward a few months, and crickets. After a string of missteps and awkward performances, those same media outlets that once couldn't get enough of him have basically ghosted the guy. It's almost like they realized the product they were selling didn't quite live up to the packaging. Meanwhile, across the pond, the UK government is under fire, thanks to Winston Marshall, who's not holding back. He recently called out the increasing attacks on free speech in Britain, and let's just say it hit a nerve. When artists and musicians start sounding more like truth-tellers than politicians, you know something's gone seriously off course. So stick around, because between political gaffes, media spin, and the growing backlash to censorship, we're just getting started, and you'll want a front-row seat for all of it. In Britain, we've had over 250,000 people issued with non-crime hate incidents. As we speak, there are people in prison for quite literally reposting memes. Would the Trump administration consider political asylum for British citizens facing such situations? Well, to your latter question, that's a very good one. I haven't heard that proposed to the president, nor have I discussed it with him, but I certainly can and will raise it with our national security team and see if it's something the administration would entertain. Now here's where it gets really interesting. This moment didn't happen by chance. It took place during a White House press briefing that was specifically organized for new media outlets. So if you were watching closely, you probably noticed some unfamiliar faces in the press pool. It wasn't the usual lineup of legacy media darlings nodding along and lobbing softball questions. And here's the twist. The issue being discussed wasn't breaking news or a brand new controversy. It was a problem that had been festering for months. Everyone in the room knew it. But for all that time, the mainstream media ignored it, pretending it didn't exist or wasn't worth their precious airtime. Then suddenly, a voice from outside the bubble brings it up, asks the tough question, and just like that, it finally gains traction. That single moment tells you everything you need to know about how the mainstream media operates. It's not about truth, it's about narrative control. And unless the story fits their script, it doesn't make the cut. That's why these new voices matter, because sometimes all it takes is one outsider to break the silence and remind everyone what real journalism actually looks like. To your first question about free speech in the UK, the Vice President has been outspoken on this for good reason. And the President also discussed it directly with your Prime Minister during his visit to the White House. So it remains a critical effort of ours to show the British government, which we deeply admire, the value of the First Amendment and the importance of free speech in a sovereign democracy. Jeff Bezos also faced public scolding from Karoline, and the way she called him out was simply remarkable. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why did they do this when the Biden administration already hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I'd add, it's no surprise. Reuters recently reported that Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So, this is yet another reason Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we're onshoring critical supply chains, to strengthen domestic manufacturing and protect our economy. Now here's the part flying under the radar, but it's a game changer. Some are pointing out how this move by Amazon is actually helping users identify products made outside the US. In other words, it's indirectly promoting American-made alternatives, without needing a single sales pitch. Clever, right? But just imagine if this had happened under Trump. The media would have lost their minds. You'd see headline after headline screaming about tariffs, struggling families, economic doomsday. You know the drill. Panic, outrage, repeat. That's what makes this moment so satisfying. Karoline didn't just field a tough question. She turned it into an opportunity. And she didn't just hold her ground. She put Jeff Bezos in his place, without breaking a sweat. Cool, confident, completely unbothered. And to top it all off, we're ending on a jaw-dropper. MSNBC's very own Joy Reid 2.0 has just been exposed, again, for blatant racism. And yes, it happened during another White House press briefing geared toward new media outlets. Because apparently, when the legacy press steps aside, the truth becomes a little too real for comfort. And it is racist, what she is saying. The president intends to deport illegal alien criminals who've broken U.S. laws and are impacting communities across the country, especially communities of color in our inner cities. Remember the story from New York City, where young minority children were kicked out of their public school to make room for illegal immigrants sleeping on the cafeteria floor? That's putting America last. And it doesn't matter your race, religion, or creed. If you are a law-abiding American citizen, President Trump is going to put you first. And shame on Simone Sanders for saying otherwise. Honestly, it's beyond me why MSNBC thought this was a smart move. They fired Joy Reid, supposedly to tone things down after years of over-the-top, divisive commentary. Then they handed airtime to Simone Sanders. Really? It's like they swapped one outrage machine for another and expected different results. If the goal was to rebuild trust or appeal to a broader audience, this wasn't just a swing and a miss. It was a strikeout with the bat still on their shoulder. Instead of recalibrating, they've just repackaged the same hyper-partisan noise with a slightly different face. And viewers can see right through it. It's not about honest dialogue or balanced reporting. It's just more of the same. But hey, maybe that's just my take. I want to hear yours. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. And if you've been enjoying these takedowns as much as I have, share this video with a friend or two. It seriously helps get the word out. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.